Hi, you're watching Construction Gaming and welcome back to Oakfield Farm on Farming Simulator 17. If you watched the last episode, you'll have seen that I gave you the rundown on how this series is going to play out over the next couple of weeks. It's basically a showcase for some of the great mods that have been made for FS17 over the past couple of years, and some which I'd like to see, if possible, ported over to FS19. Basically every tractor, implement and tool I'm going to be using will be a mod for the next couple of weeks, some which I haven't used before, but they look pretty good and I'll be taking a closer look at them as we use them. In this episode though, I'm going to be focusing on the Fendt 1000 series by TechMod AS. This is actually the Fendt 1050 with a full 517 horsepower engine, which probably overkill for these mowers, but I really wanted to feature this tractor. And I have, coupled with that, the John Deere Mower pack by KMN Modding, VNSFDGZ I think, and Zombeck, according to the Farming Simulator 17 website. I'll also be using Courseplay 5 by the Courseplay dev team. I'll be using Courseplay 5 throughout the series to control various bits of machinery, so I can feature as much as possible, cram as much in as I can. But yeah, so starting with the Fendt 1050 or the Fendt 1000 series. Not something I've used a great deal of, which is unfortunate, but it is a really well put together mod. Texture and detailing are excellent, inside and out. This has some interactive features, so we have doors, which is, that one's already open. What do we have? Rear window opens, and this is pretty cool. You can open up the front bonnet. You don't see the engine, but basically this provides you access to all of the filter packs, so you can switch those out and clean them as you're going along. Hop back in, shut that door and fire it up. Now this sounds fairly realistic. The only reference I have to go off is Johnny1388. He's a farmer with his own YouTube channel. I'll drop a link to his channel in the description below. It's well worth checking out, but in that he does sometimes use a Fendt 1050, and this does actually sound pretty similar. The only slight thing I'd say, it's louder than the other tractors in the game, so it does get a bit too much, so you do have to turn it down, but other than that, you know, it does sound like a genuine 1050 as far as I know anyway, from my only from you viewing YouTube channel videos. So yeah, that's the Fendt 1050. I will set it up in a minute to start mowing this field, but I thought I'd just take a close look at the mowers. These John Deere mowers here, these are from the official Farming Simulator website. They look okay, I think. I'm not familiar with the mowers, but the detailing, the texturing all looks good to me. What I will do, rather than just talking about them, I'll turn that off for a minute, it is quite loud, is what we want to do is we want to do some field work, and we want to mow field 29, which is pretty big. I won't get it all done in this episode, but at least you'll get to see the tractor and implements in action. The working width is 9. I'll just check that. Courseplay has got pretty sophisticated over the years, and now you can choose your starting location as a current vehicle position, which in previous versions you couldn't do, so that's a nice little feature. Starting direction, now it will detect the longest edge, which is basically sets the mowing up and down, and obviously you want usually want to use the longest edge. It saves turning at each end, and it's just a more efficient way of doing it. Return to first point, I'll activate that. Headlands, I'll probably set 3. 3 should be enough, and we'll see what we make of that. Pretty big field, so it's taking its time. Right, there we are. Just pause the game there for a second. It just had a bit of a struggle. Right, so we can see our start direction is the other way. So I'll fold that back up. Turn around. And I usually start from the first waypoint. Turn that off, actually, it's really annoying. Sounds for the mowers there just sound like the standard sounds that you get from a stock mower, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's, sounds okay to me. Obviously this 1050 with 517 horsepower making light work of this, mowing this field. If we go into the shop, I'll just show you some of the features while that's mowing. So we've got obviously different engine setups. So you've got the 1038 with 396 horsepower, 4.6 with 476, and the full 1050 there. Main colour you can change to black and white for some reason on this, and you have different wheel options. You've got the Vario Grip, which if I just go out of this again, you see the things in the centre of the wheels there. The tractor in real life can inflate and deflate the tyres depending on the amount of grip, so if the tractor starts to lose traction it can actually deflate the tyres. So I think somehow the mod creator has managed to emulate this with the Vario Grip, so you can either have standard wheel weights, Vario Grip, or Vario Grip with wheel weights. You choose your rim colours and your design with warning signs, which I think are just 2 like triangles on either side. If we go back, go into the mowers, and you see they've got the John Deere FR 350R front mower, requires 90 horsepower, 3.5 meters, and then the R990R, which is 9.9 meters and requires 190 horsepower. So it does require quite a lot of power. If we look at the Lely option here, that requires 170 9 meters, so it's a bit wider, so therefore requires a bit of power. It's quite a lot more expensive, even compared to the Nova Cat. It's 160 horsepower, 42,000, and that's 73, so quite a lot more. Not sure if that's reflected in real life, but it is what it is. I suppose it's a bit wider as well. So I suppose if you had both of those, you'd be up to 250, 300 horsepower to get the tractor moving at full speed. So there's the lowdown on those 2 mods. Don't know how long this field's going to take, but what I'll do is I think I will just do a bit of a time lapse and then do a bit of a preview for the next episode, which will be, I'll aim for the weekend, but let's say that I'll try for new episode on the weekend, feature 1, maybe 2, oh no, that will actually feature up to 3 or 4 mods. So do a bit of time lapse while this is mowing this field, and I'll do a bit more talking at the end. Right, I think that's enough mowing. You get the general idea of how that works. This is going to be left mowing for, let's have a look, ooh, at least an hour and a half of real life time, I would say. Based on that, we've done 760 out of 3,591 waypoints, so we've still got a way to go. So I will obviously leave this mowing, and then the field will be done for the next episode. And the next episode I will be featuring, if I go, I will be featuring the group switcher, which we'll take a close look at, which just basically allows you to group the tractors and machinery in different groups. And I have paired the New Holland TS115 with the RT1000 merger, which I'll be using and taking a closer look in the next episode. Obviously both of these are mods available on the official Farming Simulator website. Must add, a link to all of these mods that I will be using will be linked to in my blog, and there'll be a link to that in the description below. If I decide to use any more mods in the future, I will update the list accordingly, so you can check that out. But until next time, I'm going to leave the Fendt 1050 mowing with the John Deere mower pack. So yeah, until next time, bye bye.